Hello and welcome to Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made by real estate agents and for real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I'm your guide and host through the show. And today on the show is our monthly market minute with Carrie McCormick from the Carrie McCormick Real Estate Group with At Properties here in Chicago. Now, Carrie is a top 1% producer with over 20 years of experience helping buyers, sellers, and investors. She's a true superstar and an expert in everything from first-time home buyers, veteran investors, and luxury properties. She also works with a lot of developers and is often chosen to represent their high-end developments. Please visit Carrie at her website, which is Carrie McCormick, re.com. We have that listed in our show notes, and also follow her on Instagram, which is at Carrie McCormick Real Estate, and McCormick is 2 C's. So Carrie McCormick Real Estate on Instagram. Carrie, welcome once again to the show.
Thank you. I love your introduction. I always love hearing it. So thank you. Thank you.
Happy 2022.
You got it. So I just want to kick off this podcast, and just say that this year, 2022, is going to be the year of the off-market deal. So we are definitely still seeing a shortage of inventory. So what does that mean? It means there's buyers on the sidelines, there's buyers that want to buy, and we just don't have inventory. For people who are listening or watching from all over the United States, everyone's experiencing it. So I wanted to share a few things. I was privileged to be asked to be on the Inman Connect, which hopefully, if you guys saw it, you saw a little bit of our segment on it. And we also talked there about the 2020 off-market deal. So just again, want to give you a little bit of tips about it. So number one, circle prospecting. This is something that's new. So what does that mean? So let's say you have a buyer that put an offer in on a home and they were outbeat, multiple offer situation. What you do as a buyer representative is you send a letter to all the homes around that particular listing, or if it's a condo, in that condo building. You write a nice letter to the homeowner saying, my client just made an offer on your neighbor's unit or home. We lost out in multiple offer situation. They love the neighborhood. If you or anyone you know is looking to sell, here's my contact information. Give me a call. So a new term for me, it was called circle prospecting. I thought it was brilliant and I loved that idea.
It's such a great idea because it does a couple of things. One, it of course possibly gets them a future, sale or home to purchase, and it gives the person that's receiving the letter, a little ego boost, like, ooh, somebody might be interested in buying my property, which, especially if they're not looking to sell prior to getting that letter, now they have that sort of conversation piece with, if they have a family, maybe a partner or a spouse, to go, hey, you're not going to believe we just got this. Should we call? Should we find out? I think it just creates a lot of excitement. And also it also helps the real estate agent sort of get their name out there and let them know that you sort of play in the space where they live.
Of course. No, there's a lot of benefits to it. But of course, our goal is to, find a home for our buyer. So it was such a great idea. The next one that we talked about was unsolicited CMAs. So what that means is, I've got a database of clients that I've sold to, or just clients in general, that or prospects I've sold to, is give them a CMA on their home. This is what the value of your home is currently today. Hey, I know you're not looking to sell right now, but in the event something changes, here's where your home is appreciated. And it might make them think twice, and it might make them want to sell. So I thought that was a great way also to find some new inventory. Third idea, which is something I do a lot, is work your own network. So you got to think outside the box a little bit. Think about like the attorneys that you work with, the accountants that the wealth managers that they are trusted advisors to their clients as well. So talk to them, see if they have any clients that are in need of buying or selling as well. So again, it's kind of a little bit more old school method of, picking up the phone and calling people, but it's definitely a great way to find new business.
I think too, like with financial advisors in particular, if you're an agent, if someone's listening who's an agent who specializes in cash flow type of real estate investments, where maybe it's a house hacking opportunity where a client would maybe buy a 3 flat, live on one of the floors, rent the other 2, or it just has a bunch of cash sitting around and they want a more regular stream of income coming to them. That's a great opportunity. If you can develop that specialty in real estate, you can then take that to financial advisors and say, hey, I'm sure you come across clients who are cash heavy, who are looking for a more reasonable return that's maybe a little bit more secure. I would love to partner with you and start talking about that. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, I agree. And then the last tip that I have for prospecting in that is, again, going back to old school, is finding or pulling a list of homeowners that have been in their home, let's just say 5, 7, 10 years, right? So just let's use 7 as the average. That's kind of the time where we start seeing people make changes in their life, whether it's kids, getting married, whatever it is, outgrowing their space. We find that 7-year itch, I guess, that happens. So pull a list of homeowners that have been in their home, let's just say, again, 7 years plus. They might be thinking about moving. So send a nice targeted, email or targeted postcard to those people. Might be a great way to pick up some new business.
I love all that. Those are all really great marketing ideas. As a guy who does marketing, this is right up. Write it
down.
Write it down. I'm going to go back over those, and I want to specifically talk about the unexpected CMA, or I'm not sure the actual language you used, but basically the CMA that you're doing for somebody that you don't know yet. So this actually, I've witnessed this before. I was in a relationship many years ago with a woman who received a packet in the mail from somebody she didn't know. It was a realtor that I guess had sold a property in that neighborhood. And he had done exactly that, or he had good news to share, because he said, I see that you purchased it for approximately this. My best estimate shows us that we're probably at around X. And it was about an $80,000 appreciation over 3 years or something, just really impressive. And she didn't really know that because, it was her first property. And just, she just wasn't checking Zillow, looking at the Zestimate every day, and didn't really know. And she already had a good relationship with a realtor. So in that case, it wasn't, I would say, didn't translate into her reaching out to this particular agent, but it was a single letter, and it had like a little packet behind it of like the actual broker's information and, a little brochure kind of thing. But the letter was really good. And I was like, that is brilliant. Because it tells people what they want to know, but don't always think to look up, which is, and most homeowners, really the only place they would have any sort of awareness of what their home might be worth is if their next door neighbor sells their home and they tell them, or they know, or they're going to Zillow. And so obviously we know that Zillow's estimates sometimes are accurate, sometimes not. So this is a huge opportunity to also, so I was going to use, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was going to do a very similar suggestion in my marketing minute, which has to do very similar to what Carrie was mentioning with this sort of prospecting, which is, once you close on a property, once you sell someone's home or somebody buys something in an area, this is a huge opportunity for you to reach out to those neighbors. And I don't know during COVID, what the best way to do that is. Certainly, I know people who door knock. I know top 1% agents that do that, and they just go, if it's like a neighborhood and they feel comfortable, they'll just kind of politely knock on the door and say, "Oh, just wanted to introduce myself." That's a very direct approach. I don't know how well that would work these days, but certainly you could write a handwritten note, or you could I think too, you could do it when you list the property. So I've always thought what kind of a fun way to meet the neighbors when you have a home that's listed is to maybe then it's a good time to sort of knock on a few of the neighbors' doors, not to prospect or to say, "Hey, you should use me, I'm selling this next door neighbor's home," but to say to them, "Hey, just so you know, I'm going to be kind of in and out of the neighborhood a lot. I'm going to be showing the property. If you ever see anything that looks strange or weird, please let me know. But I just wanted you to know who I was. So if you see me coming and going, and you could even also make a joke like, I didn't want you to think I was going to rob the place, but I'm you could be cute about it. And I think that is really disarming, and is a really nice way. But again, it's this idea of whether it's, while it's listed or right after the sale, you have this huge opportunity because
Absolutely.
everybody. So this is funny, Carrie. You'll know this person. For those of you who are in Chicagoland area, this name will be familiar. But if you're not, you won't. But I'll explain what this person does. Nico Apostle from Coldwell Banker, who is one of just the nicest, kindest,
very nice. Love him.
Just a sweetheart of a guy. He did this whenever he gets an open house. And he first started, he's at Coldwell Banker, or I don't know where he is. No, I think he has his own thing now. I forgot where he is, but he was at Coldwell Banker for a long time. And he, when he first started, he was in his early 20s and he didn't have any listings because, he didn't have any friends buying or selling anything. And he would ask the agents in his office for open house opportunities. Can I go for your showing and do an open house? Mm-hmm. And then he would text all of his friends and say, please come to my open house. And he said, nobody would ever come because they're all early 20s people who, aren't buying property. And he said, so he goes, then what I would do, this is me speaking as him. He said, I would go to the door, all of the like within a block, I would knock on all the doors about an hour or two before the actual open house. And I would say, hey, I'm, so-and-so, I'm Nico, and I'm going to be doing an open house. And hey, if you just want to come by and check it out, like, just feel free. And I sort of, when he was explaining that to me, I said, but would anybody ever come by? And he goes, all the time. And I said, why? And he goes, because everybody wants to know what their neighbors' homes look like.
Absolutely.
And I was like, that is brilliant. I never thought of that.
That's the number one reason a lot of sellers don't want open houses is they're like, I don't want my neighbors coming into my house. But no, I love his, ambition, and it does work. And believe it or not, I've had that too, where a neighbor walks in and, not a direct neighbor, but maybe, down the street. And they're like, you know what, my friend's looking. I'd love for my friend to live by me, so kudos to him. It's a great idea. I love it.
Well, circle prospecting, I am just now starting to get familiar with that as well. Over the last year, I've become more understanding of what that is. So I'm so glad you're talking about it because I haven't thought about it in a while. But this idea of, hey, we missed out on this. My client put a bid on this property. It didn't work out. Long shot, but hey, are you thinking of selling? Because we'd like to look at your property. That sort of, it maybe not that direct, but however it's phrased. Boy, I'm thinking of myself as a homeowner. Actually, the place I purchased was actually one of Carrie's developments, and I would take that phone call, even though I just moved in a year ago, and I'm certainly not looking to move.
But if somebody it gets your attention, right?
Gets my attention, and it's flattering. So, oh God, I love that. It takes a little bit of work. So where would somebody go to get? And I know there's lots of places online, but where would they go to purchase a list of like the addresses nearby? I guess you just Google it. I don't.
No, our systems, even like we use the MRED system, the multiple listing service. There's different tools in there. I'm with At Properties here in Chicago, so we've got our own tool that we use as well. So I think within each brokerage, there's probably resources, and there's a ton of third-party companies to pull data. It's just, not all of it's accurate, but you could definitely do a data pull online.
And I love that like 5 to 7 year thing as well, like getting data for people that have moved in, and maybe 7 years, as Carrie said, and I think I was just thinking from a marketing perspective, like, would I say in there, hey, according to my stuff, you've been there. Now, you know what? I wouldn't even mention that I know they've been there 7 years because you might be wrong, or it might just. Maybe they, whatever, have a different sort of situation, but I would absolutely send an email or a message saying, "Are you thinking of selling?" I love that. I think that is so smart. So I think we just crammed a lot of stuff into a short episode, and I think that's perfect. By the way, we should mention also that please follow Carrie on Instagram. I said that earlier, but it really is it's a great model for other realtors to get a sense of how to do it in a fun way, but also an elegant way, and to just have fun with your social media. And what I like about you is you really enjoy doing that. You do it yourself. You do all the graphic design. And I'm curious to know, how often does business, and I know you've been in this business a long time, so you get a lot of referrals, but does business ever come directly from somebody who goes, I started following you on Instagram, maybe, there you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's, But it's also, about engagement, because I do a lot of work of, spend quite a bit of time on it. If someone wants to, message me or have questions or talk to me over social media. So I think it's not just posting things and, being out there, but it's really that engagement with clients too, and seeing, they know that I respond to them. So, they like that. But absolutely, to answer your question, it's definitely a good form of advertising.
And also we have, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, Carrie, but we've had over 100, and at our best guess, and it's not a perfect science, we know we've had at least 150,000 unique users, so individuals, download at least one of our episodes. We don't know if they ever listened, but we know that at least 150,000 unique people have done that. So we get people from all over the country and even in other countries who are, listen and subscribe to our show. And so if you're listening and you have clients that are moving to Chicago, this is a great opportunity to make an inroad with one of the top realtors here in Chicago. So definitely keep Carrie and her group in mind. They'll certainly be able to assist, and if not, they'll be able to even tell you who else would be a better fit. But what's and by the way, for those that are listening that might not be real estate professionals but are interested in buying or selling, investing, renting here in Chicago, and they do want to work with a top agent like you, what's the best way they should reach out?
I always pick up my phone. So call me at 312-961-4612. You can text me. You can find me on Instagram. You'll see I'll respond there. You can email me, Carrie, Carrie, at atproperties.com. Anytime you reach out to me, you're going to get a call back, or I'll answer my phone.
Yeah. And that's, it's something that it seems so commonplace, but in this industry, not everyone operates like that. So it's nice to know that, that you take such good care of your clients. And I know, because I was on the other side of one of your deals. So I know just how high touch you are. And, really, Carrie, her reputation is beyond reproach.
Means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, we are excited to, do another year here on the podcast. This is, you and I have been together since the very beginning. And we are grateful for that as well. And on behalf of the audience, we thank Carrie for coming on. I don't know, it's probably 4 years now, 3 or 4 years at least. And coming on tirelessly month after month, even though she's busy. In fact, to get on this, she had to race home. There is I don't know how many inches of snow outside.
A lot of snow outside.
A lot of snow, and she jumped on, and I'm sure she's going to have to jump right to something else. So we're grateful for her and her time. Also grateful to our audience. Really, really thankful for everyone. We are coming up on a major milestone. I won't reveal exactly what that is, but we should hit a major milestone. We will reveal it when we hit it in the next couple of weeks. And that is because of you guys listening. And I say guys, of course, men and women, and however you may identify. We're grateful to have you as a listener and our viewer. So please help us continue to grow by just telling a friend. Think of one other realtor that could benefit from hearing this great conversation with Carrie, which, by the way, she just gave like 4 or 5 great marketing ideas. So go ahead and send this over to someone else in your office, or tell your whole office about it. That would really help us continue to reach more agents and listeners. And also, please leave us a review. This is really important for us. It really, really helps us. Let us know, or go on to iTunes or wherever you're listening to this podcast, and let us know what you think of the show. Rate our show. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. That really helps us continue to improve as well. So anyway, Carrie, thank you once again. We will see everybody. Yeah, we'll see everybody on the next episode.
Bye, guys.